All right, welcome everyone. It is time for another long time ago top 10 TVC Most Wanted. Martyn has picked his top 10 Most Wanted card backs for The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. So it's time to pick the top 10 for Rise of Skywalker. Such a memorable film, Martyn. There are 7 vintage collection figures for this film so far, and 3 of them are variations of the Sith Trooper. So that's good, I guess.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy picking 10 for this one, Martyn?
Well, as people who have managed to stay with us after the last 2 episodes, looking back, I do apologise for the last episode. Yeah, they've been quite tough to pick 10 characters for vintage collection figures, I have to be honest. But I did find the Rise of Skywalker the easiest of the 3, if I'm being honest, if I had to judge it. Because while I don't rate this film in the slightest, they do kind of go back to that Star Wars mentality where there's lots of background characters and extra characters that they possibly wouldn't have had in the last 2 movies, but more specifically characters that I like the look of, I should say. So yeah, I mean, it was a bit easier than the last two films to pick 10.
All right. Well, should we get straight into it then?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's start then. Number 10 for The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, number 10, I've gone for General Enric Pride, and he is the First Order General who is played by Richard E. Grant, obviously, legendary British actor with Nail and I. Great film. And
not seen it.
No, well, it's a great film. You should check it out. I kind of like. Obviously, it's a First Order general. We've seen the uniform before, but I don't know. I just like Richard E. Grant. I think he looked great. I think this would make a great vintage collection figure. But the thing I love about the character in this is the fact he's got a history going back to the original Galactic Civil War and the Empire, because he worked for Palpatine back in those days. So I thought that was a nice little touch, and for that reason alone, which isn't really a good reason to make a figure out of him, but I thought I like that bit of detail in the backstory, so that's why I've chosen General Pride as number 10.
Yep, fair enough. Okay, I say fair enough to a lot of these. I've noticed whilst editing, but yeah, fair enough. Number 9 then.
Okay, number 9, I've gone for a Kylo Ren. Obviously, we've had him with The Force Awakens, but this is the version of Kylo Ren with the mask, but with the repaired mask. So he's got all the red lines where they've repaired it. And he also has a pretty cool looking cape for Rise of Skywalker that he didn't have in the other films. Kylo Ren, you either like him or you don't. I mean, it's a tough one, really. I mean, I think he could have been a better character, but he wasn't the worst thing about the sequel trilogy, as far as I'm concerned. And he did have a pretty cool look. I did like the repaired mask with the red lines on. So yeah, that's why I've gone for Kylo Ren, number 9.
Okay, all right then. Moving on.
Enough?
Number 8. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Number 8. Number 8. Now, this is one I love. I'm actually wondering, looking at my list in front of me, why I put him at number 8. But this is the First Order Snowtrooper with a cloak. Now, we saw these guys in the first movie, but there's a slight variation to them with a cloak in this one. And we see them on Kijimi, I think the name of the planet is. And I think these look awesome. I really like the look of these guys. I think these would make a brilliant card back, a brilliant figure. You could army build them. I mean, this is one trooper that they really nailed, in my opinion, in the sequel trilogy. So no brainer, number 8, First Order Snowtrooper.
Yeah, I don't mind that. You got snowtroopers always stand out and look quite cool, don't they? So, yeah,
they do. Yeah, he's very cool.
Number 7 then.
Okay, number 7, another First Order member, and it's the Fleet Technician. Now, again, this is a really weird looking. I think what would you call it? A mask, a helmet that he wears.
Yeah.
But I really like. I really like the design of this. it reminds me of something I just can't. I've been racking my brains. I can't quite put my finger on it. But when you see it from the front, it doesn't look that great. But when you see it from the side, it looks awesome. It does look a little bit like
Rick
the.
Moranis. Rick Moranis in
Well, yeah.
Spaceballs.
Oh, brilliant! No, not quite, not quite Dark Helmet, but yeah, they look a little bit like the original trilogy gunners. Would they be? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
something like that.
Just with a
But
red top to the helmet.
yeah, I quite like these guys. I think they look really cool. So yeah, number 7, the First Order Fleet Technician, not Dark Helmet.
Okay. Number 6 then. Let's move on.
Okay, number 6, I've gone for Lieutenant Conics in her camo fatigues, and she's obviously played by Billie Lourd, who was Carrie Fisher's daughter. So I don't. Sorry, I do know we haven't had a figure from her yet, and I really like the rebel fatigues that she wears in this movie. I think it has a sort of a nice gesture to the fact that she is Carrie Fisher's daughter. It'd be nice to have a figure of her as well. So for no other reason than that, number 6, Lieutenant Conics.
Absolutely nice. That is very good. That's your first 5, I should say. And a little reminder, obviously, we are gathering up the top 10 viewers' choice. So make sure you get your choices in the comments for each film. And eventually we'll put an episode together where we pick the top 10 viewers' picks. So the ones that Martyn didn't choose, hopefully. Yeah. On to number 5 then, Martyn.
Okay, now the next 2 are quality. Number 5, I've gone for R6LE5, and he's obviously an astromech. Now, is he an R6 droid? I don't think he is. I think he's an
R5.
R5, yeah, I'd say R5.
Looks like an R5.
Yeah, but the blue metallic black on this droid. I mean, I think they released these in a Droid Factory 4-pack when the film came out.
That's right, yeah.
And I've been looking online to get these, and they're really expensive because I would love these in my collection. They look really, really cool. And I know you'd probably want them in your collection as well.
Can I say I passed up, I think it was the first Echo base that we ever went to, maybe the second one. I passed up the opportunity to pick this up for £30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember it well. But it's because I was like, at the time I wasn't really looking for it. The 4-packs. But now, what I'd give to have a £30 pack of this.
Yeah.
But yes. Yeah, it's a great choice, which leads us nicely on to number 4, right?
Okay, so yeah, the next one is R2SHP, and they've actually got it right. He is an R2 unit, so brilliant. Yeah. But again, he's in that blue, black, metallic, chrome type colorings, and again, wow! I mean, they need to do more 2-tone astromechs because I think these look great. And isn't it a shame that one of the most outstanding things they did in the sequel trilogy are these 2 droids? So I mean. These are great, and as an astromech collector, I think you must as you just said, these are absolutely fantastic. So yeah, number 4, R2SHP.
Nice. I'm in agreement with that. Very cool. Number 3 then.
Now this character is very cool looking. His name is Carib, and he's a bounty hunter. And basically, I can't really describe. Well, the only way I can describe him is half of his head seems to be missing. He has no eyes, and then he has this metal dome on the top of his head, and this giant mouth full of teeth. And he reminds me, I know you haven't watched it, but if any of our viewers have watched the Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King, the extended cut, there's the mouth of Sauron who's in that, and he looks just like the mouth of Sauron. It's absolutely amazing character. I really like his armor that he wears as well. This would make a great great figure, and also a great card back. So I'd love to see this on a vintage collection card. So yeah, that's number 3, Carib.
Okay, fair enough. Let's number 2, Martyn. What's your number?
Okay, number 2. We have a legacy character finally. It's Lando Calrissian. finally turns up, and I've got him in his hermit outfit, not his yellow blouse that he wears at the end of the film. This is when they first find him. So yeah, you could have it so that he has the cloak. He could take it off and reveal to be Lando. But yeah, I've got him as the hermit that they meet. So I've got nothing really more to say than that, other than we didn't see Lando till right at the right in the last film, and it was very briefly. So I'm doing the same for this list as well.
Yeah, awesome.
Yep.
All right then, Martin. That it's 9 down. Only one left to go. What is your number one pick for Rise of Skywalker?
Well, number one, and it will surprise nobody who knows me. It is. I want to call him Emperor Palpatine, but I think I'm going to call him Darth Sidious. How we see him on Exegol, when he's got all his powers back, and somehow he magically gets this black cloak and this amazing sort of velvety red undershirt that he wears, and he has this like robotic belt like Darth Vader did in the original trilogy. Wow, I mean, this he looks fantastic. As much as I don't, he's my favorite character in Star Wars. However, I do not agree that he should have come back for the sequel trilogy. But even though he did, they gave him like probably the best look in all of the original of the sequel trilogy films. They really nailed it with his look, and I think this is one always on March Madness lists. This one, it's always on there. I think a lot of people want this figure, and for me, I would be so chuffed if they made just one more Rise of Skywalker or sequel trilogy figure. This would be number one of all three films for me. Palpatine on Exegol.
Yeah. Okay, that's not bad. I'm quite surprised because I know what your sort of thoughts are on Palpatine in this film, but I get your reasoning for it. It makes sense. But I think if I'm going to pick one out of that list of 10, I'm not going to pick the Astromech, surprisingly. I'm going to probably go with Lieutenant Conics. I think that would be a brilliant touch, like you say, having Carrie Fisher's daughter finally get her own figure. And yeah, I think that'll be nice. So, and it would be a good looking card back, I would have thought, and good figure to have. So
Definitely.
Cool. So have you got a vehicle creature playset for us? Anything like that?
Yeah, I've gone for a TIE Dagger. I mean, it was a tough one, really. There wasn't really that many great vehicles in this. So basically it's just a TIE fighter with a pointy wing, basically, to make it look like a dagger. It's not the most imaginative, I should say, vehicle in the world. But it looks fairly cool. It's just another TIE fighter that they just brought out to sell more toys. But ironically, we've never had it in the vintage collection. Can I do something I've never done before? I've just thought of a character in the Rise of Skywalker that I just popped in my head because you were talking about Billy Lord, Lieutenant Conics. And it just occurred to me, there's that flashback scene where Princess Leia is being trained by Luke in a lightsaber battle. And there's that really, really cool scene where you see young Princess Leia fighting with Luke. Damn it, I should have picked that. And also, I should have picked Sith Rey as well, that you see when she's having that sort of Force dream where she has got pointy teeth. So there's two characters that I'm going to mention right at the end that aren't in my list, but perhaps I should have put in my list. I've never done that before, and I do apologise.
Well, there you have it. Yeah, interesting. Maybe that can be from the viewers for the viewers' choice episode, and you can pick them later on down the line. But who knows? Okay, well, let us know, like I say, in the comments what you thought of Martin's picks, and give us your top picks. And then the next episode, I think we're going to do a top 10 for. It's got to be Andor, hasn't it?
Oh, it's got to be Andor. Yeah,
we've just seen it. I think we need to start picking some characters out of there and pick them quick before they actually release them on TVC. So subscribe to our channel so you don't miss that one. Hit like on this one, and we will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.